How he gets to 270 electoral votes, I'd love someone to try to explain that, how that's going to work. And if he did do fairly well in that regard, and he doesn't get to 270, which he won't, then he's going to leave it up to the House of Representatives to pick the nominee. I wonder who Paul Ryan is going to pick.
Well, that's RNC Chairman Wright's previous last month on Happening Now, dismissing concerns about a potential presidential run by Michael Bloomberg. His analysis seems appropriate today, as the former New York City mayor agrees that he has no real path to the White House for some similar reasons as just laid out. This after we've heard reports that Mike Bloomberg was preparing a foundation for a possible campaign and saying he's willing to spend $1 billion on it. But in an online essay, Michael Bloomberg saying that he will not be a candidate for president, writing, "I'm flattered that some think I could provide this kind of leadership. When I look at the data, it's clear to me that if I entered the race, I could not win." I'm joined by Doug Schoen, an advisor to Michael Bloomberg and a Fox News contributor. So we spoke late last week, Doug.
Yes.
And it was still an open door, but that door now has shut. What is the reason why?
I think exactly what Mike Bloomberg said, Jenna. He looked at the data, some of which that I helped him collect, and it really indicated that he was unlikely to win and more likely than not to help a Republican like Ted Cruz or Donald Trump. And in his essay, he made it clear that he found much of what they have said and believe to be unpalatable.
So take us behind the scenes, if you would,
Sure.
to some of your analysis as well. And when you were looking at different states, what exactly were you looking at, and what did you find
Sure.
that seemed discouraging?
Well, against Hillary Clinton, when we looked at the electoral map, we saw that best case, he'd get about 75 electoral votes, which might have been enough to throw the race into the House. But as Reince Priebus said, it would almost certainly help elect a Republican. Against Bernie Sanders, who when we began the research was a possible candidate for president, now less likely to be nominated, he was about 210 electoral votes, so much closer. So with the likelihood that Hillary Clinton will be the nominee, Mike Bloomberg decided that he could make the biggest and best contribution by speaking out and not running.
Based on the data that you looked at and the research that you have done, Doug, over the last, several months,
Sure.
What did you learn about the 2016 cycle that maybe you didn't know before, and
Sure.
some of what we're also going to be watching now over the next several months?
We've had such polarization, Jenna, such division, such harshness. People want politicians to come together, to work to common solutions and common results based on problems that affect us all, whether we're Democrats or Republicans, liberals or conservatives. And I think what Bloomberg was addressing and remains unaddressed is the broad mass in the center who are really turned off by the extreme politics on the right and the divisive politics on the left.
It's one of the questions that we're asking, and of course we asked with Mike Bloomberg, is what would happen with a third candidate, with a third-party run, whatever that would be. And in Politico today, this was an interesting quote that I just wanted to share
Sure.
with our viewers. Right in the article titled "Why Michael Bloomberg Pulled the Plug on the White House Bid," this is what the writer says. "His decision not to run was a reality check in an election cycle that's become a reality show. If a viable candidate with $40 billion and nothing but his ego and reputation to lose can't find a path in one of the most tumultuous election cycles ever, a real third-party presidential campaign might be an impossibility." Can we extrapolate that from Mike Bloomberg's decision, Doug, that a third-party candidate is not going to happen?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen this year, and I think the op-ed is right to suggest that in America it's very tough for a third-party candidate, no matter how well qualified the person is, like Mike Bloomberg, to get elected, given the difficulties with ballot access, the difficulties with getting known in the media and getting into the debate. So I would say, Jenna, that the editorial is sadly correct. I personally think Mike Bloomberg is a great guy, a great leader in the business community and in the public sector. I'm sad that he made this decision, but on the data and the merits and the criteria he used, it was the right decision.
He does have some controversial issues for some, for example,
Sure.
gun rights, or also, the soda, the soda thing. I don't even need to go into it. But before I let you go, Doug, just quickly, to your knowledge, has any campaign from either side reached out to Mike Bloomberg at this point and said, "Come on board with us. We want your help. We want you to be part of the team"?
I haven't seen or heard of anybody other than Hillary Clinton congratulating the mayor for making what, in her situation was a very good and positive decision.
And she made that comment to Brett Baird that was a little,
That's right.
It left the door open of saying, well, you know, I look forward to seeing his leadership.
Exactly.
Other issues, whatever that is.
Exactly.
So we'll see. Doug, thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you.
Great.